Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Fee, and today I'm going to make surf and turf for dinner. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be a part of my Fefam. Alright guys, so the first thing you want to do when you're making your surf and turf, you want to make sure that you grease your pot or put enough oil in your pot to do your steak. So I'm doing a New York steak, and the steak is going to take a longer time to cook. So I want to make sure that I cook that one first. And you always want to cook the meat that take a longer time to cook. So I'm just adding some black pepper. I'm adding some salt. And I'm Jamaican, so there's no way I'm just going to eat meat that is just salt and pepper. So I went in with some meat rub. So put whatever meat season of your choice and your steak and just go ahead and rub it in as I'm doing. So as you guys realize, I put the side down that I seasoned first, and that part is optional. You can go ahead and season your meat on both sides before you put it in a pot, but I for one love watching myself seasoning the other side when it's in the pot. It's kind of cool. And then of course I went in back with the meat rub, the salt and pepper, and I'm just going to allow my meat to sear on one side for like 2 minutes. So after you finish searing your meat, what you want to do is to flip it on the other side and sear the other side, obviously. So if you like your meat rare, go ahead and just eat your meat as it is. But for me, I love a well done steak. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my steak in the oven. But before I do so, I'm going to add some butter on it. And then I'm going to add a little water just to keep it moist in the oven. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. See, just a little bit of water, not a lot. I'm not cooking the meat. I just want it to be juicy when I take it out. So my next step is my shrimp. So what I'm going to do is to add some jerk seasoning. As you can see, I'm using some Walker's Wood jerk seasoning. I'm using the hot and spicy one. I'm just going to add it to my shrimp. I'm just going to rub it in. Not a lot. It's very, very spicy, guys. So you just want to use a small amount. So that same oil that I used to sear my steak, I'm going to use that same one and fry up my shrimp. Guys, we're not wasting anything, okay? Guys, remember that shrimp really don't take a long time to cook. So once the shrimp start turning orange, what you can do is to flip them on the other side and just give them like 30 seconds, and you can just remove them from the flame. So my next step is potato, just for the ones that love to have a little starch in their dinner like myself. So I'm just gonna make some mashed potato. So what I did is to bring my water to a boil and add a little salt, and I cut my potato really, really thin so that they can cook very fast. Okay guys, so we're gonna return to the steak to see how far it is. Remember, I'm looking for a well done steak. So let's see how far my steak is. You see how juicy it is? Like, really, the water didn't do much to it. Like, it didn't cook the meat. What it just do is keep it moist. So you always want to put a little bit of water in your oven with your steak. You probably don't have to put it in the same container as your steak. You can put some water at the bottom. As we can see, the steak is medium and I want a well done steak. So we're gonna move on to making the sauce. So guys, I'm gonna make a creamy sauce and, well, a creamy cheesy sauce. So what I'm gonna do is to add some butter to my pot, and I'm using the same oil that I cooked the steak in and I cooked the shrimp in. I am not wasting anything. So I'm using that same pot, and I just add some butter, and I'm using some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you have, but I'm using garlic powder because I'm trying to cook a very quick meal. After I add both my butter and my garlic, what I'm going to add now is some white wine. I'm using Chardonnay. You can use whatever white wine you have at home. It really doesn't matter. So you just want to go ahead and stir all of that together, and then you can go ahead and add your cream. Well, I'm actually using whole milk. I didn't have any heavy whipped cream, or I didn't have even half and half, or I didn't have any other form of cream, but I have some whole milk in the fridge, so I went ahead and I used my whole milk, and it comes up perfect. So I just went back and I checked on my potato to see if they're ready, and yes, they are. It takes like about 4 to 5 minutes to cook, really, because of how thin I cut them. So pointers, guys. Now let's return to the sauce. So guys, as you can see, there's a little bubbles in my pot. It simply means that my sauce is getting thick. So guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and add some cheese. I'm using some Parmesan cheese, and I bought my Parmesan cheese at the Dollar Tree. Okay, I bought it just to see how good it is, and trust me, it is good. Dollar Tree, I'll be coming back. All right, so the cheese is good at the Dollar Tree, so you can always try that in your sauces, or you can put it in your macaroni and cheese, whatever. Just try it, guys. It's actually really good. So after I add my cheese, I'm just gonna put a little salt to enhance the flavor. So I'm just gonna add a little pepper flakes. You can omit the pepper flakes if you don't like pepper. That part is optional. So guys, the final step in making my sauce is to add a little rosemary, and my reason for adding my rosemary is because I'm making steak, and rosemary pairs so well with steak. And what you don't want to do now, guys, is to boil. You want to make sure that you turn off the flame at this point. You don't want to boil the rosemary in the sauce, because the rosemary is a really strong herb, and you don't want it to overpower the other flavor in the sauce. So you just want to make sure that you turn off your flame at this point and just allow the steam in the sauce to kind of cook the rosemary so that it's not that strong. At this point, guys, what you want to do is to taste your sauce, just to make sure that it is perfect for everyone. And if the sauce is too thick, what you can do is to add a little water to it, or just add a little more milk, just to thin it out a little. At this point, my steak was ready. I went back and I checked on my steak, and as you can see, it is well done. It is over 160, so it is well done, guys. And now I'm going to finish up my mashed potato. So what I'm doing, I'm just adding a little butter. I'm adding some ranch. Ranch tastes so good in mashed potato, guys. You need to try it. It's the best thing ever. And then I'm just going to add a little salt for flavor, just to help to enhance the flavor. I'm just going to add a little salt, and then I'm going to put a little garlic in it. Trust me, garlic and ranch in mashed potato, that's just heaven on earth. Like, ask anyone about my mashed potato, like they will tell you my mashed potato is bomb. You need to try that in your mashed potato, guys. Really good. And what you want to do is now to use your potato masher, or you want to use a whisk, and just make sure you make that creamy as possible. And there you go. That's it for the mashed potato. So guys, now we're at the final step, and we're gonna cook our asparagus. Guys, fun fact, did you know that asparagus take 3 to 4 years before harvesting? That's one veggie that you should appreciate. Like, that little thing right in the pot there take 4 years before it's ready to be harvested. Wow. Anyway, guys, what you need to do to cook your asparagus is just to add a little butter in your pot, then add fresh garlic, or you can use garlic powder like myself. So you just want to go ahead and stir your asparagus so that your garlic and your butter can be all over the asparagus. And you can add a little water so you can speed up the cooking process, and just cover your pot. And like, guys, asparagus take no more than 2 minutes to cook, believe it or not. Like, asparagus is so easy to cook though. You don't want to overcook your asparagus, because they're gonna be saggy and nasty. They don't taste good when they're overcooked. You can see how green and pretty my asparagus is. Now you know it's time to remove them from the flame. So guys, just go ahead and share out your dinner. And this is my dinner, guys. I didn't have a bigger plate, so my asparagus look a bit lean in the plate, but because my plate is not big, So, you know, just gotta curve it, or else my asparagus will be hanging from my plate, and I didn't want to do that. So that's my final product, guys. You should try this recipe. It was very cheap. It was really easy to prepare. So try it and let me see what you guys have. Don't forget to tag me in your pictures on my Instagram page at Fefe Wurl. Yes, guys. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.